Hi, my name is Precious, and I started a company where we coach students to develop their organizational skills and tutor them for academic success. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 different ways we teach our students how they can use ChatGPT to better learn math. ChatGPT is a chat-based large language model that OpenAI created. They have a free version and a paid version, and in my opinion, the paid version just gives a lot more specific responses than the free version. And most of the tips I use in this video, you can use with the free version, except for the last one. So make sure to stay till the very end. With that, let's dive right in. Your first step is to go to chat.openai.com and either sign up or log in if you have an existing account. Once you're logged in, then you're ready for tip number 1, which is asking ChatGPT to create practice problems for you. This is very useful if you have an upcoming quiz or exam, so that way you have problems that you can practice on. And one of the key things that we've learned with working with students is that the more that they practice problems on concepts that they're unfamiliar with, the more that it sticks in their long-term memory. So the prompt we're going to give ChatGPT is to give me 5 practice problems for solving quadratic equations and its solutions. You can change 5 to 10 to 15. It's totally up to you. And ChatGPT is going to give you the problem as well as the solution. In this equation, x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. It gives us the factored version, x minus 2, x minus 3 times x minus 3 equals 0. And by solving for x, we get x equals 2 or x equals 3. The reason why I'm also putting the solutions is so that you can test each of these problems one by one and check for your answer. Let's say that there's a problem that you missed in this list. We can go to tip number 2, where you can ask ChatGPT to teach you how to solve for a problem step by step. This can be very useful if you are just not sure how did we get to this problem, to this solution. And the prompt we're going to give here is teach me step by step how to solve for the x-intercept of this equation, square root of x minus 3. Currently, ChatGPT is not able to show you a calculator where you can put the square root sign, so you have to type in square root as this. First of all, it's telling us what the x-intercept is, which is where the function crosses the x-axis, and it's telling us that the y value is also 0. So taking in these key concepts, it's now telling us step number 1, step number 2, and step number 3. And once you read this, the next thing that you can do is ask ChatGPT to give you 5 problems like this and see if you can solve it on your own with these steps. Tip number 3 is asking ChatGPT to create a study guide for you. Let's say that your teacher gives you a study guide with just a bunch of concepts. You don't even know what they are. You don't even recall when you've learned it. And in this case, you can ask ChatGPT to create a day-by-day study guide for you. And the prompt I'm going to give is create a 1-week study guide for me that covers the unit circle. For each day, it should include 1 practice problem and its solution, so that way you can, again, practice and see if you got close to the solution or see which concept you need to practice more. And the way that ChatGPT is going to take this prompt is it's going to break it down by days. So the first one is introducing you to this unit circle. Here's the key concept you should learn with the practice problem and its solution. You can see here that day 2 is about quadrants and angles. Day 3 is about sine, cosine, and tangent. Day 4 is reference angles. 5 is radians, and so forth. And let's say that when you read over the sine, cosine, and tangent, and you're like, how is sine of 30 degrees equal to 1/2? You can also go ahead and ask ChatGPT here, how did you find sine of 30 degrees? Explain step by step. And it will reference the previous chat and be able to tell you how it got to that solution. If you're enjoying this content so far, this is your friendly reminder to like and subscribe to this channel so I can give more of these videos to you. Awesome, so tip number 4 is using ChatGPT to teach you concepts using analogies. Studies have shown us that when we can connect prior knowledge to new knowledge, that new concept tends to stick longer in our memory. So the prompt I'm going to give here is to explain to me the relationship of log functions and exponential functions in a basketball analogy. Let's say you like other sports or video games or any other hobbies you have. You can have ChatGPT explain it to you in the things that you know. So in this case, we are given the setup of this analogy as well as a deep dive on exponential functions and log functions based on the analogy. And I think this setup is actually very useful in thinking about these concepts. In this case, it tells us to imagine we're at a basketball court. On one side, there's a player named Expo, pretty cool name, who shoots the ball into the hoop, and every time he makes a shot, the ball multiplies, which is the core idea of exponential functions. On the other side, there's a player named Log, who tries to figure out how many shots Expo has made based on the number of balls present, which is also the core principle of logs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of these chats in the description, and I'd like for you to read through these descriptions and see if ChatGPT is teaching you these concepts in a much more enriching and creative way. So next time you want to learn a new math concept, have ChatGPT teach it to you in the analogy that you think will most stick with you. All right, so we are now ready for tip number 5, which is asking ChatGPT to create mind maps for us. The way to set that up is we actually need to be on ChatGPT 4 and use plugins for this. And to enable plugins, you need to click the 3 dot at the bottom of your screen, settings and beta features, and toggle this icon. And what plugins are is that think of it as power tools or enhancements to ChatGPT. I'm going to enable the whimsical plugin so that I can see a visual mind map. And where this is useful is if you're a visual learner and you like to see how concept A connects with concept B, then you can use ChatGPT to create these mind maps for you. The prompt we're going to use is to create a mind map that shows the relationship of the trig functions with the unit circle. So it used the whimsical plugin right here, and then it created this visual mind map for us where the unit circle has a radius of 1 unit with its angles and as well as the trig functions that are connected, or I also like to think derived from the unit circle. And if you want to edit this diagram and add more notes into this, you can click this link and it'll take you to the whimsical website. One last tip about plugins is whenever you make a new chat, you can enable these plugins, and there's a bunch in here that each of these you have to download. And to see the rest of the plugins, you can just go to the plugin store, download the ones that you like, and for each chat, you can only enable up to 3 of these plugins. Those are all my 5 tips on how you can use ChatGPT to better learn math. All of the chats that we came up with for these 5 different tips will again be posted in the description below. Let me know which of these tips you plan to use for your upcoming quiz or exam. I'm definitely very eager to know. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.